what is the prototype for the air raid for people that aren't 100%? Are they smaller guys, or are you looking for the giants like Randy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is yes. I think you can plug them in pretty much wherever. And when you look at the guys we have in camp or the receivers we have in camp, we have some of those long guys that you would see, out, maybe out beyond the numbers that can stretch the field. But the air raid, what's interesting about that offense is it's a little different than run and shoot, in that the run and shoot attacks coverage, where the air raid attacks the field. It attacks open areas and grass. So I think, it gives, look at some of these receivers we have that are good yard after catch guys. And you think about the concept of the air raid with mesh, and you think about all those crossing routes, and getting the guys in the ball short and intermediate, and then letting them gain, yards after the catch. So many folks think, and the air raid does have that vertical stretch component to it, but you hear air raid and you think, oh man, they're throwing it 50 yards down the field every play. Not really. It's the short intermediate.
A lot of mesh, right? It's a lot of mesh.
A lot of mesh. Yep. And so
that's the way I play NCAA. I use a lot of mesh because I think you can get guys open and use space. That I'm a big basketball guy, and it's similar to basketball where you're using the space to your advantage.
Using the space and setting picks. You like basketball, you like picks. That's the mesh. These guys want to be slapping hands when they mesh in the middle of the field. But I think you're going to have guys like, Wayne Ruby Jr., a D3 guy, Mountain Union. Anybody that follows football knows Mountain Union's been a powerhouse. When you look at, 74 touchdowns in 4 years, 74 touchdown receptions in 4 years, averaged over 16 yards a catch at Mountain Union.